is the hottest radio station.
This is Double9Radio, the best online radio station playing the best Afrobeats 24/7, broadcasting online across the UK and worldwide. To tell a friend to tell a friend. Double9Radio.
Yes, it's Double9Radio here on Double9Radio. Got amazing Lady B as well. Trust me, I'm excited. I'm wonderfully happy to be back on Double9Radio. Although, what can we say? There's a bit of a virus going out there, but we said no. We must fight this virus and bring the entertainment to the people as well. We got the amazing Lady B here with us as always. Hello, Lady B. How are you? How you doing today?
I'm good to be back. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm fine. It's been a challenging week. I've been tired. I've been a bit like, what can I say? Trying to fight the lurgies, but I said, you know what? We must come back. Has it been on your side? Hopefully, the virus hasn't tried to capture you in any form or shape.
No. At least not yet, and I'm hoping that never happens.
Hopefully, it doesn't happen.
Yeah, but just as you said, like it's also been a very stressful week. Just glad it's the weekend. We can grind and just let go. Yeah.
Exactly, and bring great entertainment to our amazing listeners out there. See, listeners, see what we have to go through to ensure we're bringing live and lovely things to you. See, do you appreciate what we do here on Double9Radio? I hope you do. I know you do as well. We're so happy to be here as well. Hope you're having a great weekend. So, Lady B, what do you have for us this amazing weekend?
All right, so on 35NSocial today, we'll be talking about single, but am I too demanding? So kind of like a question, basically.
I mean, you know what? It's a question that needs to be asked as well, because I believe people can be quite demanding out there, but I don't know what your take is on there. But I mean, that's a great, wonderful, should I say, question to ask. Because a lot of people say, they're looking for a relationship. They want to get into a relationship. They want to find someone they can love, they can be with. But are they ready to get into it? I think that's what we're going to be finding out today. I'm actually looking forward to that. I mean, what do you think about it? Is that what we're saying?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, absolutely agree with you. I think it's a very relevant topic. Because a lot of people were single, people would tell them, oh, you're too demanding, or something that comes from self-reflection, where they're like, yeah, maybe I'm too demanding, maybe I'm not. So we're going to be exploring all of that today, and answering those questions. And of course, our callers, more than welcome to share your experiences and your thoughts with us on Double9Radio.
Exactly, as you mentioned as well. We want to hear what you got to say. We want to hear your interaction as well. The number is 074 956 36899. That's 074 956 36899. You can call us direct on that number, send a text or a WhatsApp, and we'll be here to take your calls and engage with you, as you know. Yeah. Okay. So we're talking about the demanding thing, but I mean, what is too demanding? What is the measure of too demanding or demanding, for instance? Because you're quite right. A lot of people want to be in a relationship. They're saying, I feel lonely. I want someone for myself. I want to be loved. All of that, wonderful thoughts that people talk about. But I mean, when we say too demanding, which we say now, what would we say is too demanding in a relationship from your perspective as well? I have a thought, but I mean, I want to hear the one and only Lady B, the Oracle, speak regarding this.
Right. So that's a great question, and I don't think it has a straightforward answer, because demands are very relative to the person and to the person the demand is being made of.
Yeah.
So it's not a straight answer where I can say, oh, when you're asking for this, you're asking for that, it's that's too demanding, because what I may consider too demanding, someone else may have the ability to provide that to whoever's asking of it. So
Correct.
It's a very relative question. But I think what I would define as too demanding is you asking for something you're not able to provide yourself. You expecting from someone what you're unable to give. I feel like that's unfair. And I would define that as being too demanding, because you can't be asking someone to give you something you're not willing to give.
Yes.
Whether that's emotional, physical, financial. Yeah, so that's basically what I would, term being too demanding. But yeah, of course, I'm very interested in hearing what your perspective is on that.
I mean, I could agree with you more. I mean, you let the you hit the nail on the head right there and there when you said it's more about what you asking for something you as an individual are unable to deliver, unable to give back. Do you know what I mean? Because a lot of people. I mean, we're going to dive in a bit more. We ask the question, what does too demanding mean? We keep it simple, as what you said. It's when you as an individual are asking of another individual something you're unable to deliver. Do you know what I mean? When you can't deliver something, you can't expect the other person to deliver it. So I mean, when we have people to argue and say, where's the line between having standards and being unrealistic? That they'll come at you and say, well, but I have to have standards. Okay, we understand you have to have standards, but I mean, again, what is standards? What is the unrealistic things? Does it still come back to when you're unable to provide for not provide, but unable to actually give what you're asking, Lady?
Yeah, that's a great perspective. I feel like they're very different, and the lines need to be very clear. I feel like standards have to do with your values as a person
Yeah,
in a
yeah.
relationship, like what you can accept, what you cannot, what you expect. And these are not necessarily like material things. So it has to do with your values, your self-worth. That's what I would define as, having standards in a relationship. Okay. I expect communication. I expect, checking up on me. Then when we talk about demands, right? Or your expectations, or too demanding, it just boils back down to you asking someone to deliver something you're unable to provide yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, so those are two different things, standards and being too demanding. But yeah, I mean, I totally agree with you, because I've seen a number of people say, oh, they want these, they want that, and then you're telling them, well, that's a bit unrealistic, and they're just like, well, those are my standards. If they can't meet up to it, then just move. I'm not bringing down my standards for anyone. Um, but are you able to deliver that yourself? If you are able to deliver that yourself, then maybe that's just your standard, and that's what you expect of your partner, because something you can deliver. But it's a sort of self-reflection thing. Am I asking for something that I can't provide or that I can't give out? Then that's a question that needs to be asked and answered honestly.
I mean, I could agree with you more. I could agree with you more. But moving it a bit, still in the same, demanding, scenario we're putting forward. Because again, going back to the simple definition you gave about, putting a demand means, it was too demanding means that something you can't actually deliver yourself. And people
Yeah.
come and say, okay, I need to have standards, but the standards are they unrealistic, or is this something you can actually deliver yourself? Then
Yeah.
I would now start thinking that when you put a demand or you have this high expectations,
Mhm.
is it a sign of self respect or fear of compromise? Are you scared to compromise because or going to a relationship? Because every relationship there's some sort of a compromise that happens.
Yeah.
But if people come at you and say, "Oh, no, I need to have some self respect," but the thing is, if you've been single for a while, right, or your relationship possibly is lasting for maybe 1 to 6 months, for example, and you're breaking up, because of the certain demands you're putting in place. I mean, the ridiculous demands out there, Lady B. Trust me, the ridiculous out there. I'm going to talk from the men's perspective. Maybe you could come from the women's perspective. I don't know, but from the men's perspective, from conversations I've had, you have individuals talking about yes, this person must be earning a six-figure sum, or maybe she should be earning at least £6,000 a month after tax. But are you earning that? Are you earning that money? Oh, this person must be able to take me out. We must be able to go out 3 to 4 times a week to eat. How,
Yeah.
how do you build a future? All those people asking these things, where do you come from? I mean, people would say, did your dad or mom have that kind of experience when they're growing up? Okay, I'm not being rude to anyone, but I'm just saying, is it, but the thing is it a sign of self-respect or fear of compromise? Fear of compromise in the fact of, if you compromise that, okay, okay, if I take on this guy who has because we talk about potential, there are different forms of potential. You can have an individual, in a great, career, having a great job, earning, a good money, living in a two-bed flat or even a one-bed flat, but he's doing well. There's a progression happening in his way. But are you not going to compromise when you're probably not even earning as much as him? But because you want to be seen in a flashy, luxurious position, you start putting demands on these people. But again, is it self-respect or is it fear of compromise?
Oh, that's an interesting turn of events. It's quite interesting that people would, expect from others what they're unable to give.
Yeah.
It's crazy that, just the example that you gave, someone is expecting, their partner to be earning £6,000 or £60,000, after taxes, and they're not earning that themselves, and they're placing that on someone else, and they're like, oh, if you can't be up to that, then just move. Yeah, so it's quite unfortunate that we put such a burden on someone else, something we're unable to deliver ourselves. And that's what we have. That's what's happening in the world today. That's what's happening in the society today.
I was that
And
Lamborghini. Sorry.
right. So would I say it's a fear of compromise? I mean, there's no relationship without compromise. Like there's no 100%, you know, you're going to make compromises, along the way, in the way, after the way. There's always going to be compromise. You can't always have 100%. So I wouldn't say it's a fear of compromise because you can't always have what you want in a relationship, right? Even if you have your standards met, you want someone with 60,000, like you can't have 100%. The person is probably not going to tick all your boxes, or even if they do, there are probably other things on your boxes that you never expected that will come up and they just don't tick that box.
Yeah.
So would it be self-respect? Is self-respect if it's something you're able to give, right? That's where I will draw the line. If it's something you're able to give, that's self-respect. Is it realistic? Am I in the position to provide that to someone? If someone was making this request of me, how would I feel? Let me put myself in this person's shoes. Then that would be self-respect because you're sensible enough to know that, okay, maybe that's an unrealistic expectation to place on someone else. So instead of expecting these things from someone else, why don't I expect that thing from myself?
Yeah.
So I'm looking for a partner that is earning £6,000. Why don't I work my way, work myself to be able to have that earning power? Why am I expecting that from someone else? Because the reality is you may never meet that person, right? Or that person may never come your way.
Exactly.
So
Yeah, you're
I
right.
place that demand on someone else. It's just ridiculous to me.
I love it. I love what you said there. That person might never come your way, or you might never meet that person, because at the end of the day, it won't be a demand. It will just be a norm if you, as an individual, are within that class of people.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
If you're now hanging around those kind of people or that kind of, your mindset would not be thinking, oh, I'm
Yeah.
looking for this certain kind of person, because
Yeah.
you as an individual are already, complete your, within your own means, you're
Mhm.
confident, you're okay with that. So all those kind of, demands or financial demands
Yeah.
don't come in, because you're now highly looking for a compatible partner who is emotionally compatible with you and
Yeah.
has this physical attraction for you, to go forward and have a relationship with them. So I think I love the fact that you just put there that, you might never even meet this kind of person.
Yeah.
You want to date outside of your comfort zone where you can't even understand or begin to fathom how to spend or handle such amounts of money. So, but people always say, oh, I have to have sort of self-respect. But what is self-respect? Is self-respect demanding something you cannot even provide yourself? It's
Yeah.
something like, putting pressure on people or potential suitors because of a certain kind of fantasy you have in your head. I call it fear of compromise as well, because if you want to be in a position of having a loving relationship, I think certain demands need to be put away. But if we bring it back to the societal pressures and expectations, I think those are the key things that might be influencing, certain individuals. Again, I know it seems like I'm talking towards just the female part. No, we have the male part as well, because we have some male. We're going to be diving into that gradually. But if you look at social media and the culture currently, the social media, the current culture consuming the society and on the dating expectations, because now you go on a date, the first thing you're taking out is your phone. Is the phone is the thing. You're taking out your phone, taking pictures of the food you're eating. First of all, you take a picture of the venue to let them know that I'm in a high class luxury restaurant. My man is taking me there. My man has bought me shoes. He's bought me this. He's bought me that. All of that thing. But the essence of the dating is lost. You understand? It's lost. The
Yeah.
essence of that connection is lost because you've been blinded and overwhelmed, with all this, temporary, should I say, attractions or false attraction, a facade has been created.
Yeah.
You don't know the true person. But now this is being seen by other females or males out there as well. So now they try to be putting demands before they go into a relationship.
Mm.
I mean, from a female's point of view, do you think social media has an effect on making ladies demand more in a relationship?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, like social media is such a big part of our lives. It has such a big influence on almost everything we do. So, yes, of course, I believe that social media, has, plays such a role in, you know, making people demand more in relationships, whether it's women or men.
Yeah.
People are asking for um people are asking for a lot in relationship these days. I know a number of my friends that have been telling me like the street is tough, or like it's really tough there. Yeah, I've heard a number of crazy expectations that, women are demanding from men, and that men are demanding from women, but mostly from the women. No, mostly women from men, that I've seen. But I think that, when people have these expectations, right, and they never seem to be able to bring down those expectations, and then you hear them speaking, and then they tell you, I want this from my partner, I want that from my partner, and then you're thinking in your head, like, well, is this not a bit unrealistic? Just, sizing that person up, right? Not saying it's unrealistic to someone may be able to provide that, right? But like, again, we're circling back to, is this something you're able to deliver
Yeah.
that you're asking for? And then they have all these expectations, and you're thinking to yourself, is this something you're able to deliver? But they're never able, they just keep the standards. And I keep asking most of my friends, like, do you think your expectation gets, do you think you lower your expectations as you get older? I mean,
Mm,
because I know people that are like, in their 40s,
I need,
50s.
I need to make a note of that. That is a very point you made there. Yeah. Sorry, carry on.
Yeah, and that they're still single. And I asked them, like, do you think you bring your standards down now that you're older? And they're like, no, it just keeps getting worse. Like the standards get higher and higher when you get older. And I'm like, wow, that's, you think that, oh, you say, oh, I want this before, but now, I mean, I've been single for like 5 years now. Maybe I'll change that. And, but that's not been the case for many people that I've seen with these things. So they're not even willing to make a compromise. And I think, when we're talking about the topic earlier, what came to my mind was the fact that I think at the end of the day, it boils down to your priority,
Exactly.
right? Some people are better off single than not having the expectations met. right? They're fine, like, I'd rather just, live my poor life, my poor self, my poor, lonely, sad self,
Mm.
that brings someone else, into this relationship. If my standards or my expectations, that's the only way I'm willing to go into a relationship. And to be honest, like, I don't blame them, because if that's what they want, then that's what they want. But if that's your priority, like you actually desire to be in a relationship, then that's an entirely different conversation. But for people who are like hard-headed, and they're like, if I don't get this, if I don't get a man who can do this, who can do that, I'm not going to a relationship. I'd rather be single.
Set in their ways. We have a comment from Margaret. Thank you, Margaret, for sending this in. A comment is that if a man is earning that much, he definitely would want a woman who isn't up to his standards and who will want to drain him financially. 100%.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because you're putting an expectation or demand on
yeah,
the individual, and you're not able to deliver, which is what Lady B said earlier. So a man is not going to want that. It's almost like you're now a liability to
yeah.
the individual, kind of thing. So a sensible man will be thinking, no, wait a minute, can you deliver on this? But
Mhm.
going on, I love the 2 points you made, around age and priority. You know, but if we look at bring it back to social media again before I actually jump on those points, because I had a couple of things I wanted to, like, iron out. You know, would you agree that most individuals, male or female, are influenced by unrealistic portrayals of relationships on Instagram? Sorry, on social media. I didn't make, sorry, not just that one, but on social media as well. But do we think that most people are influenced by unrealistic portrayals of relationships?
Yeah, 100%, 100%. I mean, if you're on social media and at this point in your life, you still believe everything you see on social media, then maybe you're not mature enough to go into a relationship.
100%.
That's what I think. Like, if you see everything, you see all the flowers, the money bouquet, and you're just like, oh my God, like every single time. And for 1 second, you don't pause to think that everything you see is not exactly as it is, then maybe you're just not, that's what I'll say, like the person is not mature enough to go into a relationship, because you can't define your life by what you see on social media. Like, you don't even know you don't know what's happening behind the scenes. But yeah, I do agree that yes, it does have a lot of influence. People have unrealistic expectations because they've seen something somewhere. But I also know that there are people that are, smart enough to know that, well, people that have been in it know that that's not what it is. That's not what it's like.
Yeah.
It's just a picture that they want you to see, because that's what sells on the platform.
Mm, mm. I mean, I could agree again, 100%. Exactly agree to what you just said. Unrealistic portrayals of relationships. I mean, one thing I always say is, which you mentioned, is it's all a facade on Instagram. It's all for the likes, or for
Yep.
social, right? It's all for the likes, the views, the comments that people do, and a lot of people get carried away when they see certain things. I mean, we see a lot of individuals coming online, portraying a very false narrative of their actual lifestyle. Some people even go into, higher, private jets look-alike,
Yep.
um, setups, not actual private jets, but a setup that looks like a private jet. And oh, my man bought me a ticket straight to whatever, bouquet. I've heard stories of people buying empty boxes
Yep.
of designer boxes just to showcase in a kind of like a fantastic relationship. And this in turn puts a huge pressure on individuals to try and replicate what they're seeing online, which is honestly, it's just a shambles. As you mentioned as well, if you're still an individual who is carried away by what they see on social media, you do definitely have a huge problem as well. So not everything on social media is real. If you're at this age, as you said, you've matured enough and you're still unable to decide that, you know what, I can't, you know, focus on what I see, then you're not really ready for a relationship. You're still single. But again, there's the pressure to settle down and the freedom of being single. Is that
Mhm.
another reason where people say, I'm still trying to be free? I want to be free in a relationship. I don't want a man to tell me what to do. I don't want a woman to tell me what to do. I want to be free. I want to do things my way. I want to be, able to wake up and say, I'm going to Spain, I'm going to Tanzania, I'm going to Zanzibar in one day. But if I have a man in my life, I don't know, can he do that? Or if I have a woman in my life, is she able to hold me? I want to go hang out with the lads. Is that another thing that would be thinking, oh, is this why people want to remain single? Is that another demand in another way, just to flip the coin?
Mm. Yeah, I mean, like at the end of the day, like if these are things you can afford for yourself, you want to find someone like if, so for example, the trips that you mentioned, if traveling is your passion and it's something that you like, and it's something you can afford to do yourself, you would want someone that shares those values or those, hobbies with you, someone that likes to travel as well, someone that likes to see places. And then talking about the people that, they just want to be free, and that's why they actually don't want to be in a relationship. They just want to put all these unrealistic expectations so that, you hear all of that and you just move away like, oh, I can't do that, so bye.
No.
Maybe, yeah, right. Maybe the point is they actually do enjoy being single, and they're just like, if you can pay the price for me to live my single life, all the benefits I've been enjoying from being single,
Yeah.
like if when I'm married or if I'm married, I'm probably going to be getting gifts from just, my close family members.
You
But
mentioned
now when I'm single, I get gifts from like
I
15
got, I got
guys.
options. I got options.
I've got options.
I
Thank
got,
you. So,
I mean,
so if I'm gonna stick with just you, are you able to, are you gonna be able to equate the value I was getting from those 15 guys? Otherwise, I'd rather, so maybe that's why I said like priority. Maybe that's not the priority to settle down. Of course, there's a societal pressure to, to settle down, to get married, to be in a relationship. But I feel like, the generation these days, they're just doing what they want.
I'm telling you. I mean, I love the point you raised there. About getting those gifts from 15 different people. But just by continue, a big shout out to Queen Esther there. Thank you for tuning in. It's always amazing to have you on the show. You know, I mean, it is quite shocking because it what we're saying, we're laughing about, is actually a reality.
It is. It is.
It is a
Yeah.
reality because it's almost like a type of demand. They're thinking to themselves, like, this is almost a self demand that,
Yeah.
oh God, if I get into this relationship, my freedom is over. I can't
Yeah.
get all those 15 guys or 20. I'm not saying every woman has got that. I'm not saying every man
Mhm.
has got 50. Please don't come for me. But you can speak to me. I want to hear. Number is 074 956 36899. That's 074 956 36899. You can call us direct on that number, send a text or a WhatsApp, or call us on WhatsApp as well. So you're quite right. The thought process is, oh my gosh, I still want to go on, social media and be able to flaunt, free and single, girl power, yeah, man, do you know what I mean? All those things, make you as an individual almost too demanding on yourself. Now,
True.
I'm trying to find someone to settle down with. But the question is, people will say, oh, I don't know, am I really too demanding? Am I? Am I really? I hear some people. I can feel it. Some people. I can feel the vibe. I can feel the energy. Some people are saying, "What's Double 9 database?" Say, I don't think I'm that. Am I too picky? But ask yourself this question: a bit of self-reflection and versus external opinions. Let's look at that. Do friends and family ever say to you, "You're too picky"? Have they ever said that word to you? Hello. I think you're too picky. I think you're too choosy. I think you need to. Have they ever said that to you? Think of that. Think of that. Do you know what I mean? And also think to this yourself. How have you kind of differentiated genuine standards and the fear of being vulnerable? Because any relationship we go into, there's a percentage of vulnerability happening in us engaging. We have to be
Yep.
vulnerable. I mean, lady B, I mean, would you agree? In any relationship, there's a level of vulnerability you're going into.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, of course. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, you've raised very, very beautiful points, about the freedom that comes with, being single and hoping that, whoever's going to make you live that single life will be worth it. And, just as I said, it boils back down to the fact that, maybe some people are not ready. Sometimes we have these expectations, right? And when we have those expectations, when we eventually get what we want, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't even appreciate it. If it's standing right in front of you and you be like, is this really what I wanted?
Mm.
You're like, this is, your friends are telling you, well, like, I mean, this person ticks the box. You said you wanted this, you wanted that. And then the thing is standing right in front of you, and you start questioning yourself, like, is this really what I wanted?
Mm.
So sometimes people don't really know what they want until they see it, until they see it standing right in front of them. And I've also, witnessed a number of experiences where, I've had friends who say, "Oh, if the girl is not this, I'm not even, I can't date a girl that is not this. I can't date a girl that is not that." And then 3 years they're single, and then the next baby you'll see them with, and I'm like, I thought you said you couldn't date a girl. And then no, this one's different. So yeah, it's very relative. It's very related to that question that you brought up earlier. Like, what's the difference between unrealistic expectation and standards? Because people will say all these things, and then you see them with a partner, and the person is the exact opposite of everything they ever wanted.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's a crazy, 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 crazy situation. When we talk about like making demands of others, like,
I
don't
know.
just make demands of people something that, I mean, you want a tall girl, or you want a 5 foot, a six, are you 6 foot, like?
I know. Especially ladies say that. Especially
Yeah,
it's always come from ladies. Loads of
yeah, of course.
I want a 6 foot, dark, handsome. You know,
Like,
sorry, I'm not trying to come at anyone, but you want this tall, dark, and handsome, slim individual, and you're like, your size is there.
yeah.
How's that
They
gonna
can't
happen?
cover you.
So, I mean, how's that gonna happen? I didn't say no size. I just said the size is there. You know, you know,
Right.
what I mean? How's that gonna happen?
Yeah, yeah,
It's,
it's
it's always
crazy, yeah.
even guys as well. Guys is like, I want this, I
Yeah.
want a very slim.
Girls as well. Like, I want a girl that has this, like, those girls that have all those things. They have, like, do you have the bag to bag them?
You know what I
Do
mean?
you get, like,
I want a size figure 8, well dressed,
yeah.
everything shape. And this guy's got like some pot belly, as as one guy, this is a joke I had one time that there's this guy like before he comes into a room, his belly comes in first. Like you can't
Oh my.
see it first. It's crazy. But the thing
Yeah.
you mentioned, I want to touch on that where you talked about, where couple of people you've engaged have had this kind of a standards. Oh, the girl must be this, or the guy must be that. I mean, it seems like sometimes past experiences, shape expectations too much as well. Because firstly, they've had an experience with what they thought they want,
Uh-huh.
all the demands. Da 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 da. This is what I want. This, I want this. I want that. So the demands have actually skewed the relationship time. So now going to another relationship now, you want to add more demands because you've seen, oh, maybe I need more, or maybe you've gone on social media. Oh, this is not what it is. So I think as well, past experiences shapes expectations going forward, but that can also be looked at in a positive light because,
Uh-huh.
as you mentioned, you have been with that thing with that individual, you think this is it, the one that's got the figure 8, the one that likes going to restaurant, the ones that wear makeup, that if okay, um too much makeup, you want, all those expectations, you already have it, but now you feel, oh my god, this is too not exactly what I want. So hopefully that past experience should shape you in going or achieving or finding someone who you want to be with. That means you're lowering your expectations.
Mm.
But if we look at the modern dating now, right? Modern dating also doesn't help. And what do I mean by that? Dating has changed, right? Dating is like previously you would go out maybe to a bar or club or even a restaurant, or you're working in a shopping mall or something, and someone catches your attention, someone build courage, you go to them, hey, how you doing? Introduce yourself, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then you don't have no, the only thing you're looking at is the physical appearance of that individual, right? You don't have any other thing, no other information about them, just physical appearance. Then you start, getting to know them. But now things have changed. We have the dating apps, right? The dating apps, especially, I'm not even going to, there's thousands of them, right? Where people now have a profile and they list A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. I'm like, do you know what I mean? Because there was a research done, and it was quite overwhelming that females list a lot of demands on the dating app profiles. And the funny thing is, you wonder, like, all those demands you're listed on your profile, can you actually deliver any of them? I mean, what could occur is, okay, a man is going to say, yeah, okay, I can do all of that. Do you know what I mean? And create a facade and create like a false narrative of themselves and say, okay, I could do this, I could do just to what? Get into you. Then now you become heartbroken because of all these crazy demands you put in there. I mean, but do you think people put less effort into relationships because of this modern dating now?
That's a great question. Yeah, yeah,
Or maybe there's options now.
yeah,
Because
I think so. Yeah, I think a lot. I think the effort people used to put in before has kind of reduced now because they're just like, you already see like this amazing, beautiful girl, and you can already kind of have an idea like, oh, our expectations might be a bit too high for me. And it's the same as well with the women. Yeah, I think people have, kind of reduced their effort. They're just like, if it clicks, because most people that are like in relationships or like sometimes it just happen naturally. Like you didn't have to, because when you meet someone and they're already giving you like a list of demands, like on the first date or on the second date,
Yeah.
it's
What's going
it's
on
just
here? What's happening?
yeah, like it just makes you question, like, I don't even know if I like you yet. And they're just like, well, I don't want you to waste your time. I'm just telling you, like, if you're going to be my husband, I'm not going to be doing any work. You're going to be bankrolling me, bankrolling my family, my sisters, my aunties in the village, and all.
It's true. This is what
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah, so most guys are just like, like there's no point, and the women tell like there's no point because I think the expectations now is, a lot higher than it used to be
Yeah.
because the men are demanding, women are demanding as well. Like everybody's making demands from everyone, instead of making those demands of themselves first.
Yeah.
That's what I think everyone should focus on.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is crazy because yes, I know that the efforts, men are not even putting the efforts to like chase women anymore. They're just like, there's no point. Like,
I know. I hear what you said, and I couldn't agree more as well. I mean, you talk about, it's true. The commitment and effort is almost undervalued in
yeah,
the dating scene, because the scenario I painted earlier, where you go into a bar, going to even church or a restaurant, whatever, and you meet someone, you're trying to get to know them. You're trying to have that conversation, trying to understand where they're coming from. So you're almost committing your time, there to, put a bit of effort in, calling them, asking them for their number. But now the social media dating apps with all the lists of things now, and as you
yeah,
said, they might just talk to you on the first day, and say, oh, yeah, I'm just letting you know so you don't waste your time.
yeah.
Where's the effort? The effort
Mm,
it's gone.
mm-hmm.
It's gone. So people and people complain, I'm single, but the commitment and effort is gone out the window.
Yeah.
Because it's almost like this demands are almost like a barrier,
Mm,
to whatever you're trying to achieve. Because you're already putting, like, you know, in some cases, maybe even the person is able to achieve some of these things. But the thing is, you don't even specify which one is non-negotiable and
yep.
which one is a preference.
You just want everything done.
Straight. I must have this. I must
Yeah.
have it's a non-negotiable. And you know what? And sometimes, I in this article, it actually states that sometimes they actually put in there they're non-negotiable. And then I think to myself, wait,
Mm,
non-negotiable. Who are you? You know, what honestly, because who are these people? Like you as a human being, you're single, right? When you're single, you're actually searching to be with someone. You want to be a partner, someone you can share your time and be happy with, and all of that. And in the natural process is getting to know someone and understanding whether they're compatible or not. But not everybody is able to understand what kind of characteristics they have totally. Because some you discover, what
Yep.
you have within you, and sometimes when you meet people, they help you discover your true self as well. And when you discover your true self, you're able to express better by engaging with that, special person. But when you have a list of non-negotiables already, how are you going to discover? Where's the effort in trying to discover or get to know who that person is?
Yeah. It's
You
just
know,
like seeing a job ad and it says, this required, this required, this required. And just like, if you don't have any of those requirements, don't even bother applying.
I know, but I'm sure. Again, I can hear it in my voice. I can hear you people who are not calling in. I can hear your thoughts. You say to me, should you just settle down? Should I just compromise and settle down? And all of that. In some cases, I don't know. I don't know. But I would say, in some cases, compromising or settling down and compromises on certain bits can be necessary for love to grow. Do you know what I mean? Especially in with the point Lady B made about age. You know, I mean, people say women's clocks go faster than a man. I mean, Lady B, is that correct? Before someone comes for me, on 074 956 368 But is it through though? Is it true that we have a caller? Fantastic. Let's take this call and we go from there. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning. It's Double9Radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good evening. My name is AG, and I'm calling from somewhere within the UK.
Fantastic, David. Thank you for calling in.
Yes,
you know what? I
all
must
right.
really commend you first. You know what? It's been a while we heard a man's voice on the radio. We're always shy. And, I've been taking a baton. I've been taking a beating on here. I'm so happy you've called in. So please carry on. Do you have a comment or a question?
Yeah. So mine is a comment actually, and it's around efforts, right? And of course, we can see effort in different ways. However, I just wanted to make a comment or as to what I think is the reason why it seems as though many people don't put in effort anymore, or why many people don't actually put in effort these days. Personally, I believe it's like a paradigm shift in the times. So, of course, earlier you mentioned social media, right?
Yeah.
So many people pull up a lot of standards from social media,
Yeah.
either directly or indirectly. Some people directly because of what they see on social media. Some people indirectly because of peer influence from people that actually copy or follow things from social media, right? And then where effort comes in is again from the times and social media. Growing up where we come from, we mostly were taught that if you're in a relationship or even in marriage, you have to try your best to work it out, right? In this day and age, on social media, you see many failed relationships, many failed marriages, and those things are even, how do I put it? Those things are celebrated on social media. I'm not much of a social media person, but recently I saw a situation of a social media influencer or a popular person, let's put it that way, who has an issue with a partner and went on social media to be talking about it on TikTok Live, right?
Wow.
And then the mother-in-law or supposed mother-in-law was saying, "Oh, but I've begged you in person. I've knelt down for you." All of those things, they were putting it out on social media. So that way, some people will learn that, it's okay, even if it doesn't work. right? It's a norm. It's normal. Even if it's married, even if we've committed to it and it doesn't work, I can walk out in a month, 2 months, in 6 months. It's fine. So because of that, many people will set up standards that are difficult to attain, and they feel like if they don't attain that standard, I'll just walk out, right? Many people are like, well, I'll do this. If you can't do that, there's no point working it out. I won't get any backlash for it. So we might just as well move on with our lives, right? So I think it's that shift that for many people is causing the fact that there's no need to do much work. There's no need to commit too much. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. It's not the first time that would be happening. I can even take it to social media, take it to TikTok, and maybe some people will like it and I'll gain some extra followership or whatever. Yeah. So that's just my
I want to say a big thank you for that. I really appreciate that. But you're right. I mean, what you've highlighted there, if I'm correct, is it seems that commitment and effort has been totally undervalued in today's scene, and you're attributing this to social media.
Yes, for in a lot of cases, to social media, either directly or indirectly. Yeah.
You're right. I mean, what is social media? Social media is a people. Is the people who come in there, use the platform to propagate certain narratives, which the society just accepts rather than frown to. So it's like the society has been, should I say, corrupted, or in a way, our values and cultures have been diluted so much. We're not accepting, what the typical example you gave about people just coming and washing their dirty laundry rather than frown at it. It's just the confidence of people coming on and not even worrying about any backlash. I mean, Lady B, I mean, do you want to, say something to our amazing caller this fine evening?
No, I mean, I think he's really, left some beautiful, beautiful, amazing points. It's very important to, understand, just as he said, like, many years ago, people would take time and effort to, to work on their relationships. But I think, from everything he said, what just came to my mind is maybe relationship is not just a priority for many people now as it used to be. I don't think it's a priority. Like people say, oh yeah, they want to settle down because, that's the life they've known. Their parents, got married or whatever, had them. Like relationship is just some part of life, or is a part of life, and you kind of have to fulfill it. But I don't think that, for many people, it's, or maybe they're just very good with pretending. I don't know. But I just feel like it's not just a priority for many people as it used to be. And that's why it's like, but yeah, it's quite unfortunate because the example he was talking about where, people just, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Like if it's anything that disturbs your happiness, if you're not happy, if your expectations are not being met, it's what you want and what you want alone. Like, what about what the other person wants? Like, is there no middle ground? So
yeah, Dave, I want to say thank you for calling in. So please do call in often as well. So it's not just Double9 taking all the backlash and the beating from our amazing female listeners. Thank you again. Have a wonderful weekend.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. I mean, you know what? He came on and gave us a very good account of what we're talking about. I love the example he gave there as well. The commitment and effort is out the window. It's out of the window. It's totally out the window, and it's quite shocking. He referred to people, breaking up even in marriages as well because of this social media, portrayal of certain relationships. But the thing is, think about this, ladies and gentlemen. If you're listening to me, all the beautiful ladies out there, all the beautiful guys, handsome guys out there as well. Social media is great, but not everything you see is real. Think about what happens after the video has been posted. It is not plain rosy. Your mind is almost conditioned in a way to believe that, yes, that's it. It's a paradise. They're doing that every day. No, it's all for the gram. If you have a lot of followers on Instagram, you can get paid. Do you understand? They want to get paid. Even on Facebook, all of that stuff, all these people saying stuff, it is not real. Yeah, Double9 Radio is real though. Stay on Double9 Radio and listen more, and do tell a friend, tell a friend. But anyway, now we've talked about social media, but people still say, I have standards. I have standards in my relationship. I want to have standards when I go into a relationship. Yes, you can have standards, but in every relationship, there's always a compromise. So you have to look at the standards and where you need to compromise. Where are those, red flags or pet peeves that could, that you need to look out for? You determine them. We don't know. But red flags are very different for everybody, isn't it? Everyone has their own, level of acceptance. But the thing I will always put forward, which Lady B agreed with me, is when you're in a compromise, compromise settling or trying to settle a bit, compromising a bit, it's sometimes necessary for that love to foster, for the love to grow. We're not saying don't prioritize your feelings. Yes, you have certain standards, but understanding compromise is very, very important. Do you know what I mean? Also, going back to what Lady B said, are we projecting expectations we can't meet ourselves onto people? How do self-love and confidence affect our dating choices? Confidence is something we haven't even spoken about. Because sometimes if you don't love yourself, that's when you start looking for that, acceptance of someone. Putting those demands, you must make me feel special. You must make me feel like a queen. You must make me feel like a king. But if you look at yourself as a king or queen, you don't need no validation from no one else. Lady B, am I speaking this evening?
You're speaking the truth, nothing but the truth,
I'm speaking this evening because if you have that self-confidence, you would attract the confidence. Your confidence attracts confidence.
Yep.
Self-love attracts love, not validation. Not like I'm looking for someone to tell me I'm beautiful. I need someone to treat me like a queen. I need to take me out. I need to do this. I need to do that. Those expectations, can you meet them yourselves? Are you ready to grow? Are you ready to dive into that relationship? And also people say, I don't know about, it's a very contentious topic, I would say, but I think being happy alone, when you're happy by yourself, like happy within yourself, it can lead to a very healthy relationship.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not, being happy together is amazing. It's amazing when you're with someone and you're being happy together, you're sharing a lot of happiness together, you find peace in each other's environment. But you being happy by yourself, find happiness, find something you like by yourself, I think leads to a healthy relationship. Would you say, Lady B?
Yeah, you're just speaking a lot of truth. I was just like, preach on, preach on. But yeah, it's quite interesting, the topic, and just as we said at the start, like it's very, very relevant. Of course, and we believe that if you're listening to, 35NSocial, it means like, you're into the relationship life, dating, and all of that. So we're gonna address those people, not those people who do not value relationships, or which to them it's not a priority. But talking to those people who, want to be in a relationship, are concerned about why they're single. So that's the people I'm speaking to now. If relationship is your priority, or if it's something that you desire, then you need to look at those people who are in a relationship and compare to the standards you see on social media. You see that they're probably totally two different things, right? It's not that what you see on social media does not happen, but happens maybe like 1% or 0.01% of the time. It's not what's prevalent in most relationships. So if being in a relationship is what you desire, then you need to look at the people around you and what the relationships are like. And then, you can take a cue from that. It's okay to have standards. It's okay to have expectations. Like they're fine. Like, to get on with life, you have to have expectations. That's absolutely fine. But what I always say is, I don't think anyone should place any expectation on anyone. It's good to have expectations, fine, but don't demand or don't expect that your expectations are met. Because what eventually happens is you see that, oh, this person is meeting the expectation for a while, and maybe something happens, they're no longer able to meet that expectation. What then do you do?
Yes.
The only person that can't fail you is yourself. So instead of placing that expectation on someone else, you can trust in yourself that you're going to deliver, right? I want to do this, I want to do that. So you place that expectation on yourself so that you don't fail yourself instead of putting that expectation on another human. And what I've seen a lot of times with people is they have this expectation, they have that expectation, but then they see someone else who's not really that expectation and they start finding that I don't know if you get what I mean. They start finding the
Yeah.
expectation in that person, like, oh, well, I wanted somebody that is like maybe 6 feet, but I mean, Whiskey is fine. I'll just take Whiskey. I mean, he has a lot of money.
Yeah.
It's quite popular. Don't worry. I mean, it ticks all the boxes. So sometimes, it just boils back to what you said. What
Yeah.
are the non-negotiable in a relationship? I don't think 6 foot, 5 foot is a non-negotiable, unless it's like you know, like a what's it called? Like if it's a life threatening issue, I don't think marrying someone with 6 foot is a non-negotiable, and that's why it needs to be a realistic expectation. So take a cue from people in relationships around you that you see, oh, these people have successful relationships, and learn from them, not learn from social media strangers that you actually don't know. You don't even know if they're just in that relationship to sell the story to social media, get brand deals, and things like that. Like, we don't really know.
Nobody knows. Nobody knows. You're right. I mean, you know what? I can't even add any more to that because you know what? You said it all. You said it all. You know, ask yourself the question, which was today's topic. Am I too demanding? But you're still single. Think about it. You're single, but are you still, too demanding? Have we resonated with you this afternoon or this evening or this morning, wherever you listen to us from? Have your family members said to you, you can be too picky? Have they said, or your friend said to you, you're too choosy? Or
Mm.
again, have you ever thought to yourself, I don't want to be vulnerable. I don't want to be vulnerable around anyone. Have you thought to yourself about that? Because vulnerability is sometimes demanded or required when you're in a relationship. But again, what are those non-negotiables? Are they realistic non-negotiables? Is this something that can maybe let you compromise and find love where you're looking for? I mean, lately you mentioned things around your age. Where are you? A woman's clock, as they say, is ticking, is ticking. Or yeah, at that stage, you know what? You say, you know what? I don't want anyone. I just want to be where I am. We're not saying just jump into any kind of relationship. We're not saying that at all. We're just saying do your due diligence on your demands. Is it in a region where you think is realistic or all realistic? Is it based on social media? Or is definitely based on past experiences or what? What is your priority to be in a relationship? Or have you been in it and done it and think to yourself, oh my gosh, I don't think I can do this anymore. But as you growing older and you're increasing your demands, my darling lady, my big boss, G, my guy, I think you'll be wasting your time if you don't face the reality of what's really happening. It might be because the reason you're single is because your demands are too high. It's been Lady B here on Double9Radio, as always, coming through with some amazing vibes, amazing, wonderful, wonderful content as well. Lady B, I enjoyed today's show. I
Yeah.
want to say a big thank you to all our listeners and everyone watching us. Victoria B, a big shout out to you as well, watching us live on YouTube there. And also our amazing caller, Deji, as well. And Queen Esther as well. We want to say a big thank you for calling in. And everyone who's been sending in messages of encouragement on there, just giving us a thumbs up. We really appreciate you here on Double9Radio. Do you remember you can do a catch up on this and watch on YouTube? If you're watching on YouTube as well, you can find us back on there. Lady B, any wonderful words to those wonderful individuals who's going to take this advice and go forth and do something great with it?
Yep. So just to summarize, I mean, I think you've said everything, to be honest. Like, just make sure that your expectations are realistic. And again, that could also be relative, but that's why I said, like, using real life practical examples to sort of learn from and pick from and try and use that to apply that to your situation, basically. Yeah, having expectations are not bad things, but I wouldn't expect what I can't give. That's just my mantra. Does not always apply to everyone, but that's just, personally to me. But I feel like eventually, our listeners, they get smarter and wiser as long as they keep listening.
Yeah.
Yeah, so because there's a lot of things to learn. So at the end of the day, like, just make sure that your expectations are realistic. Ask yourself those questions, do self-reflection, and then just try and know what your negotiables are and your non-negotiables are. And I mean, Double Nine is always there. You can always call, we've
Yeah.
got your back.
You can always call and engage. Numbers 074
Yep.
956 36899. That's 074 956 36899. Do send us a message or, a text as well. And also, just to mention, we're all going to be doing a competition soon. We are going to be sending two couples away for a dinner or lunch date as well. If you want to be part of this, make sure you're tuned in on our show. We're going to be posting it on our Instagram as well to let you know when that's happening as well. A date for two. We're going to a very lovely restaurant as well. In the meantime, Lady B, it's always amazing to have you on the show. Can't wait for the next one. Can't wait for the next amazing topic you're bringing through to our way. In the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, stay locked on, stay locked in. As you know, we always bring amazing vibes and amazing, lovely energy here on Double9 Radio. It's been amazing. It's been wonderful. But in the meantime, stay locked on, stay